Hey guys, Jeff here from Windowsill Botanical, bringing you the first video, or first proper video in my Growing Food in Small Spaces series. So in this video I'm going to touch on how you can really maximize your growing potential in a small space. I'm going to go into further detail of this in future videos. There's probably going to be quite a few videos that revolve around really maximizing your space. But in this one, I am not even going to be growing food out here. That's how space efficient I'm being. So my kitchen window is literally immediately right to the left of me. It gets really good light. It's pretty much a perfect facing window for growing plants on. So the sun kind of rises about sort of, you probably can't see it, but actually you can. So in between those, the really big Syzygium there and the sort of smaller one, there's like a fence there, which is why there's a gap. That's kind of where the sun comes up in the morning. It's actually there right now, but it's a bit rainy and windy today, so you can't really see it. But it sort of comes up and arcs around there. So in winter, I actually lose quite a bit of my courtyard space to just too much shade, really. So probably about a third of it, or maybe not quite a third, but maybe a quarter. I can't really grow much in during the winter time. Maybe some leafy greens and stuff, but it's kind of, if I did that, I'd be really encroaching in on the space that I have to actually be outside and in the courtyard. So really take advantage of the fact that this window gets quite a lot of light and grow some herbs on there. Now I've worked it out already. I've grown plants on this windowsill for a while. I've currently got a rabbit's foot fern there, but worked out already. I can fit 6 of these little pots there, these little terracotta pots. These are about 13 centimeters across, I think they were. They hold about 0.8 liters of mix, so they're not huge, but there should be plenty enough for some herbs. I'm not going to grow anything too extravagant in there, just a few more of your sort of really sort of fleshy herbaceous stuff, as opposed to things like rosemary and that. I'm not going to really try and grow a little shrub in there or anything, but I've worked out I can fit 6 of them across the windowsill, which is pretty good. I can really sort of maximize that, so I'm going to be doing that. I'm going to show you the herbs that I'm going to be using. This is also kind of a two birds with one stone type thing, because I also want to dismantle my herb planter at the moment, which is an old wheelbarrow that I repurposed. And I really like this. It looked really cool and it was really thriving for a while, but I think it's just not super practical in terms of the growing space, because it's a metal wheelbarrow especially. Like, I did drill some holes in it for drainage, which helped, but it still held onto a lot of water. And because it's a metal wheelbarrow, especially in summer when it was where it needed to be to get the good light, it was getting really hot and it would just cook the soil essentially, which would probably kill a lot of the microbes and stuff and the good bacteria in the soil that really help your plants thrive. And not only that, if any plants were too close to the edge, their root systems were just getting destroyed. So I really love it as, like, visually it looks really cool, but what I'm going to do now is remove all the herbs, well, most of the herbs out of that for now. I'll still have a few that'll stay in there for the time being. Pot them up, put them on windowsill. I've also got in a parsley because I needed a new parsley, and then that wheelbarrow I'm going to save for a future project. It's actually going to be more of an ornamental thing. I'm not going to use it for growing food. I've got a few ideas what I'm going to do with it, but essentially I'm going to use that as a way to attract pollinators and things into the garden, which I'll go into when that time comes to do that. Okay, so now onto the plants. I'm going to be doing parsley. This is the curly leaf parsley that I bought in about a week ago, and it's just been sitting on the table here waiting for me to get time to do this and pot it up. I've then got in the wheelbarrow still, I'm going to take them out as I need them so that they're still in the soil. I've then got some chives. I'm going to pull them in. They should do pretty well on the windowsill. It's not much of a plant at the moment because I've recently sort of gave it a bit of a hack back, but it should come back pretty well, I imagine. I've then got quite a bit of coriander in this barrow, which I think it's called cilantro or something like that in the US and possibly the UK. But I'm going to probably do a few pots of that because I've got quite a bit in this wheelbarrow and I don't want it to go to waste, so I'm just going to get it in. It should again do pretty well because it doesn't love getting hammered by the sun. It is more of a sort of a cooler weather, cooler month herb. It should do pretty well on the windowsill though, I imagine. So that's going to pretty much take up most of the pots. But then I've got a little thyme plant here, and I've got a sage plant. which aren't going to be permanent residents of the windowsill. I'm just going to kind of nurse them back to health in there because they've been a bit hammered by over the summer period. They got really quite wrecked by the sun. So I'm going to bring them in. They're looking pretty healthy, but I think I can just give them a bit more time in there, get them really good again, and then I'll find a place for them outside where they can really thrive. So in terms of potting media, you can just buy a really premium quality potting mix. Don't make the mistake I've made in the past of buying really cheap potting mix and thinking that you can just improve it and make it good with sort of additives and stuff. It's just not worth it. You're better off to just pay the extra $5 or $10 and get a really good mix. So you can either do that, or you can make your own, which is kind of what I've done now. So what I've got here is just it's just cocoa fibre mostly, but I've mixed through it sand, which just helps with drainage, and I've mixed through it horticultural charcoal, which kind of works on two fronts. It helps with plant health. Now it's not a cure-all for plant ailments or anything, but it just helps keep the soil healthy. It's a drainage element, so bigger particles in the mix allow water to drain through better, which is useful when you're using cocoa fibre, because cocoa fibre really holds water, which is it's good. It's good because this mix will have good water retention, but it will be free draining. So I've got some bigger cocoa sort of chips in there as well to help with the drainage again. But the horticultural charcoal is really good because it also kind of acts a little bit like a slow release fertilizer, so it'll absorb some nutrients and stuff in the soil and from the organic matter that's going to be going in with them, like the compost and stuff. It'll absorb some of that and it'll sort of slowly release that back into it'll slowly make that available for the plant over time. Now, I try to use materials that I'd be happy to just dump into my compost bin when I'm done, so I'm not going to be capping it off with any rocks or anything, although I will do a small sand layer, which I didn't actually bring out with me, so I'll do that later. But the reason I do a small layer of sand on top of my indoor plants is it's just a little bit of a preventative measure for fungal gnats, because they like to get in that top sort of couple of centimeters of your soil, and that's where they breed and lay their eggs and everything. So you just put a little bit of sand on top, or gravel works as well. It's not a fix all for it. It's not going to eliminate fungal gnats, but it's just going to reduce the risk of them going in there and actually reproducing. So it's just a little prevention method. It works really well. I've had really good success with it. I don't really get fungal gnats anymore. I used to get them quite badly. Used to get quite bad infestation, but now I don't, because I do that. So it's going to be this mix that I've got, which is quite a nice mix. I like it. It's good for growing food planting especially. And then I'm actually going to be mixing in, so the soil that comes with this, there's obviously some compost and stuff in these planters, and I'm going to be using some of the material from the wheelbarrow, which is quite a seasoned mix. There is compost in there. I did quite a heavy compost mix in there because I was going to be growing plants in there, so I'm going to dig around a bit and get some good compost out of there to mix in with this, because this alone, it'll grow plants, but you want a bit more nutrients than what that's going to give you, and that's where the compost comes in. So you also don't want to go too much compost, because you want to have that balance. So the easiest way to sort of do this, I guess, is I'm just going to go into the bucket a bit. So I like to just put a little bit in the bottom of the pot first, and then we'll just squeeze the sides of that. There's actually a number of plants in here, I think, but we'll just use it as one. Just pop it out, and that's pretty good. It's not too root bound. I'm liking that actually. I'm just going to tease out the bottom corners a little bit. You don't have to do this. A lot of people say it's a must to really sort of tease the roots out the bottom. It's not really. I like to just get those really tight corners sometimes, just because it helps the roots sort of establish. So I'm actually going to I should probably put a bit too much in the bottom of this, so I'm just going to take some out. Just have a little bit in there, and then essentially just pop that in there, and then just get some mix, and just mix this in. Just sort of make sure you get it down the sides, and cover all the bases pretty much. Make sure it's all in there. Essentially what you want to be left with is, give it a little tap to get it down. A little bit of press down. You don't want to press down too much because you'll really compact your soil and it's going to make drainage worse. So you don't want to do that. But I'm just going to pack that down. I'm going to get some of these big chunks off the top that I don't really need there. I might even take a little bit out. I'm going to get heavy on it because I need to, like I said, I put sand in the tops of these, so I'm going to leave enough space for me to do that. And there you have it. I'll bring it a bit closer. And that's it. That's all I'm going to do. I'm just going to do the others now. I'll put them all up and then we'll bring them inside. Give them a bit of a water and bring them inside.